in the quiet corners of the world, where lives are touched by mystery and grace, an ancient voice continues to whisper. This voice doesn't shout or demand attention, it comes gently, like a breeze carrying the scent of flowers or the soft glow of the morning sun. It calls to those who are lost, those who are suffering, and those who are searching for something beyond the material world. For the thousands of people who have encountered this voice, whether through dreams, visions, or moments of unexpected clarity, it belongs to a man whose physical body left the world in 1973, but whose spirit remains profoundly present. Neem Karoli Baba, affectionately known as Maharajji. Discover Neem Karoli Baba's enduring love and wisdom in this immersive book summary. Using headphones for deeper connection, we create powerful content, not animated flashy video. In a world filled with distractions, uncertainty, and division, the presence of Maharajji serves as a beacon of love and compassion that transcends time, space, and belief systems. Though he spent much of his life in a small, humble ashram in India, his influence has reached across continents and cultures, touching the hearts of people who never met him in the physical realm. What is it about this quiet, blanket covered saint that continues to draw people from all walks of life into a deeper connection with their own hearts and the world around them? Whisper in the Heart reveals how Maharajji's love, though subtle and unseen, is anything but ordinary. The book is a collection of over 150 powerful and deeply personal stories of those who have experienced his ongoing presence. Despite his physical passing, these stories range from the miraculous to the mundane. Encounters with Maharajji in dreams and visions that provide life changing guidance, healing experiences where his presence seems to defy the limits of medical science, and quiet moments of peace where the overwhelming feeling of being loved beyond measure changes a person's entire outlook on life. Imagine finding yourself at the darkest moment in your life, overwhelmed with pain or confusion, only to feel a warmth spread through your heart, a sudden sense of peace that has no logical explanation. Or envision waking from a dream in which you were embraced by a man you have never met, yet whose love feels so familiar that it lifts the heaviest burdens from your soul. These are not isolated events, but shared experiences of those who have felt Maharajji's guiding hand in their lives. Maharajji's presence is not confined to the boundaries of traditional religion or spiritual practice. He is felt by Hindus, Christians, Jews, Buddhists, and even those with no religious affiliation. His message is simple: love others, serve others, and live a life of compassion. This message echoes through the stories in Whisper in the Heart, where people recount how Maharajji appeared when they needed him most, offering them not only spiritual comfort, but tangible real world transformations. For some, Maharajji appears in visions, offering a smile or a gesture that immediately dissolves their doubts and fears. For others, his presence manifests in moments of crisis, where a simple whisper in their heart changes the course of their lives forever. His love is a powerful force, described by many as all encompassing, unconditional, and transformative. Yet, what makes this book so captivating is not just the miraculous nature of these encounters, but the fact that they continue to happen today, decades after Maharajji left his physical form. This enduring presence challenges our understanding of life, death, and the boundaries of time. It suggests that love, when it is pure and selfless, can transcend all limitations, reaching across lifetimes to touch the hearts of those who are ready to receive it. The stories in Whisper in the Heart offer a rare glimpse into the possibility that divine love can appear in our lives when we least expect it, offering us healing, guidance, and a connection to something far greater than ourselves. Maharajji's whisper is always there, waiting for us to listen. There are those who leave an indelible mark on this world, whose presence transcends physical boundaries and continues to ripple through the lives of others long after they've left their body. Neem Karoli Baba, affectionately known as Maharajji, is one such soul. Though he left his physical form in 1973, his essence, spirit, and energy continue to resonate across the hearts of many. His guidance, love, and healing touch manifest in mysterious ways, and his whisper can still be heard by those who seek him, both consciously and unconsciously. This is the story of that whisper, a whisper of unconditional love, a call to live a life of service, compassion, and kindness. Maharajji's presence is not confined to the past. Rather, it continues to unfold in the present, shaping the lives of individuals who are connected to him in ways beyond the ordinary. Imagine a man sitting beneath a blanket, radiating a sense of deep peace and simplicity, his twinkling eyes often hidden beneath the folds of the fabric, yet full of insight into the souls of those who seek his presence. It is said that Maharajji knew the innermost thoughts of the people around him. He could see past their words, directly into their hearts. Whether it was through a gentle look, a simple phrase, or even a laugh, he had the power to heal, guide, and transform. However, Maharajji's influence is not limited to the few who were fortunate enough to sit at his feet in person. His reach is far greater. Today, in dreams, visions, and miraculous moments, people continue to experience his guidance. Across continents, languages, and beliefs, Maharajji's presence is felt by those who have never physically met him, yet feel a connection that is as real as any earthly relationship. As we venture further into the stories of Neem Karoli Baba's ongoing presence, we encounter a series of miraculous healings and deep spiritual transformations. Maharajji's energy flows into the lives of those who need it most, often in moments of profound despair or confusion. People from different walks of life, grappling with both physical and spiritual ailments, report experiencing not just healing but a complete transformation of their inner and outer worlds. Neem Karoli Baba is often described as a healer. His followers believe that his love has the power to heal not only the soul but the body as well. Many devotees recount how Maharajji's presence, whether experienced through dreams, visions, or other mystical encounters, led to physical healing in cases that seemed impossible. One of the most compelling stories comes from a man diagnosed with a terminal illness. After exhausting all conventional treatments, he had resigned himself to his fate. During a particularly difficult night, as his body weakened, he fell into a deep sleep and had a vivid dream. In this dream, Maharajji appeared, his presence comforting and steady. Maharajji did not say a word, but the man felt an overwhelming sense of peace wash over him, as if all his pain had been lifted. The next morning, he awoke feeling strangely better. Over the next few days, his strength began to return, and when he visited the doctor, his test results showed significant improvement. While medical science couldn't fully explain the sudden shift in his condition, the man knew deep down that it was Maharajji's grace that had healed him. In another story, a young woman suffering from a debilitating autoimmune disease experienced an equally miraculous recovery. After several years of battling the illness, during which her body continued to deteriorate, she began to lose hope. One night, after a particularly painful day, she prayed for guidance. That night, she had a vision of Maharajji sitting in a field of flowers, smiling at her. He reached out and touched her forehead, and she woke up feeling lighter, as if the illness had begun to lift. Over the course of the next few months, her symptoms dramatically lessened, and her health improved to the point where she could resume her normal life. She credited this miraculous healing to Maharajji's love and presence in her life. These stories of physical healing are not isolated incidents. Across the globe, individuals report feeling Maharajji's healing energy when they are most in need, whether they had ever physically met Maharajji or simply felt a connection to him through his teachings. The results are often described as nothing short of miraculous. Equally profound are the stories of spiritual healing. Maharajji's energy not only heals the body but also the soul. Many who were struggling with emotional pain, depression, or spiritual confusion found comfort and clarity after encountering Maharajji in dreams or meditations. His presence often brings a sense of inner peace, a clarity of purpose, and a renewed connection to the divine. One story that illustrates this spiritual healing comes from a man who was dealing with the overwhelming grief of losing a loved one. He had been unable to move past the pain, feeling disconnected from life and deeply lost. One night during meditation, he saw Maharajji in his mind's eye. Maharajji simply smiled at him, and in that moment, he felt the weight of his grief begin to lift. It wasn't that the pain of loss had disappeared, but rather that he felt held and supported by something larger than himself. This experience allowed him to begin the process of healing emotionally, and he eventually found a sense of peace in his life. For many others, Maharajji's presence has served as a catalyst for spiritual awakening. People who had been seeking answers or felt disconnected from their spiritual path often describe a sudden sense of clarity or purpose after encountering Maharajji. His love, they say, guides them to deeper truths about life, faith, and the universe. Some describe feeling called to meditate or to engage in acts of service, following Maharajji's teachings on living a life of love and compassion. A particularly powerful story comes from a woman who had been experiencing a spiritual crisis. She had spent years searching for meaning, studying various spiritual traditions, but nothing seemed to resonate deeply with her. One night, after an intense period of questioning her faith, she dreamt of Maharajji. In the dream, Maharajji spoke to her, telling her to stop searching outside and to look within. The simplicity of his message struck her deeply. She woke up the next morning with a newfound sense of peace, realizing that the answers she had been seeking were within her all along. From that day forward, she felt a deep connection to Maharajji and embraced a spiritual practice that focused on inner stillness and love. It's often said that Maharajji's love has the power to transform lives in ways that go beyond physical or spiritual healing. His teachings, rooted in kindness, service, and love, have inspired countless people to change the way they live and interact with the world. One such story comes from a man who, prior to his connection with Maharajji, had been leading a self centered, materialistic life. His focus was on accumulating wealth and power, and he gave little thought to the impact his actions had on others. But after encountering Maharajji in a series of dreams, he began to feel a deep shift in his priorities. Maharajji's teachings on seva, or selfless service, resonated with him deeply. He began to volunteer his time to help others, first in small ways and then on a larger scale, eventually leaving his corporate job to work full time in a non profit organization. He describes the experience as one of the most fulfilling of his life, attributing his transformation to the love and guidance of Maharajji. For many others, the transformation is more subtle, yet no less profound. People speak of a softening of the heart, a deepening of empathy, and a greater willingness to help those in need. Maharajji's love, they say, opens them up to the suffering of others and inspires them to live in a way that spreads love and kindness wherever they go. One of the most beautiful aspects of Maharajji's ongoing presence is the way he continues to guide his devotees in their everyday lives, whether through dreams, visions, or subtle feelings of intuition. Many people feel that Maharajji is always with them, helping them make decisions, face challenges, and stay on their spiritual path. One woman, who was struggling to make a difficult life decision, described how she prayed for guidance, feeling lost and unsure of which direction to take. That night, she dreamt of Maharajji, who simply pointed to a road in front of her. The next day, she awoke with a sense of certainty about what she needed to do. She followed her heart, trusting that Maharajji had shown her the way. Looking back, she describes that moment as a turning point in her life, one that set her on a path of greater joy and fulfillment. Others describe feeling Maharajji's presence in more subtle ways. Sometimes it's a feeling of warmth or peace that washes over them in moments of stress or difficulty. Other times it's a sense of clarity that arises unexpectedly, guiding them toward the right choice or action. These experiences, while often intangible, are deeply meaningful for those who feel Maharajji's presence in their lives. The ripple effect of Maharajji's love does not stop with those who personally experienced his presence. One of the most profound lessons of Whisper in the Heart is the understanding that each of us has the power to carry forward his legacy by embodying the values of love, service, and compassion in our own lives. Whether through small acts of kindness or larger commitments to helping others, we each have the potential to spread the love that Maharajji represents. One devotee in the book reflects on how, after being touched by Maharajji's presence, they felt a strong desire to continue his work by supporting their community in meaningful ways. They began organizing food drives, helping neighbors in need, and creating spaces where people could come together to share their experiences and support one another. For this devotee, Maharajji's love became a call to action, an invitation to help others and create a more loving and compassionate world. For others, carrying forward Maharajji's legacy is about practicing mindfulness and patience in everyday interactions. It's about being fully present with others, offering a smile or a kind word, and extending empathy and understanding even in difficult situations. Maharajji's teachings remind us that every moment is an opportunity to practice love, and that even the smallest acts of kindness can have a profound impact. One of the most beautiful and reassuring messages from Whisper in the Heart is the idea that Maharajji's presence is eternal. While his physical body may no longer be with us, his spirit and love continue to live on, whispering to the hearts of those who seek it. This ongoing presence is felt in countless ways, through dreams, visions, and moments of deep spiritual connection. People describe feeling Maharajji's presence at pivotal moments in their lives, offering guidance, support, and healing. For some, it's a fleeting glimpse of his face in meditation. For others, it's a feeling of warmth and peace that washes over them in times of need. What makes Maharajji's presence so special is that it's deeply personal. Each person's experience of him is unique, tailored to their individual needs and circumstances. Some may feel his presence during times of crisis, while others may experience his love in quieter, more subtle ways. Regardless of how he appears, the message is always the same. You are loved, you are seen, and you are not alone. As the book draws to a close, the invitation that Whisper in the Heart extends to its readers is clear. Maharajji's love is not something reserved for a select few. It is a universal force that is available to anyone who is open to receiving it. Whether you have heard of Neem Karoli Baba or are just learning about him for the first time, his message of love and service is one that transforms your life. In the fast paced, often challenging world we live in today, Maharajji's teachings offer a path to peace, purpose, and connection. By embracing his message of love, we can cultivate a deeper sense of compassion for ourselves and others. We can learn to serve those in need, to act with kindness and generosity, and to live our lives in a way that reflects the divine love that Maharajji embodied. As we carry Maharajji's message forward, it's important to remember that his teachings are not abstract or distant, they are meant to be lived. The stories in Whisper in the Heart show us that Maharajji's love can be practiced in every aspect of our lives, from the way we interact with our families and friends to the way we treat strangers. One of the most important lessons that Maharajji imparted was the value of humility and simplicity. He often reminded his devotees that true spirituality is not about grand gestures or complicated rituals. It's about how we live in the world. Maharajji himself lived a life of simplicity, spending much of his time sitting under a blanket, surrounded by devotees, offering them his presence and love. For those who seek to embody Maharajji's teachings, the path is clear. Live with love, serve others, and practice compassion in all that you do. By doing so, you become a vessel for Maharajji's love, helping to spread his message to those around you. As we reflect on the stories and lessons shared in Whisper in the Heart, we are reminded that Maharajji's love transcends time and space. His presence is not limited to those who knew him during his physical lifetime. It is available to anyone who seeks it, regardless of where they are in the world or what their background may be. This timeless quality of Maharajji's love is one of the most powerful aspects of his legacy. It reminds us that love is not bound by the limitations of the physical world. It is a force that can connect us to something greater, something eternal. For those who have experienced Maharajji's presence, the knowledge that his love continues to flow through their lives is a source of immense comfort and joy. It reminds them that they are never alone and that they are part of a larger, divine plan. The whisper of Maharajji's love is something that each of us can hear if we listen closely. It is a quiet yet powerful call to live with more compassion, to serve others, and to recognize the divine in all of life's experiences, whether through dreams, visions, or the simple moments of everyday life. Maharajji's presence is always available to those who seek it. As we close this chapter, let us carry Maharajji's message with us in our hearts. Let us remember that love is the greatest force in the universe, and that by living in alignment with that love, we can bring more peace, joy, and connection into our lives and the lives of those around us. Maharajji's whisper is eternal, and as long as we are open to hearing it, his love will continue to guide, heal, and inspire us on our spiritual journey.